top of your Wednesday morning in Central African time. Let's kickstart off with looking at Africa's science excellence. Now, in today's rapidly changing landscape of science and technology, fostering youth innovation is essential. Think of what these brilliant minds could bring to the table. Now, the Eskom Expo International Science Fair presented a great opportunity recently to highlight the talents and solutions of young scientists from South Africa and beyond, emphasizing the importance of STEM education and addressing contemporary challenges. Joining us on the line this evening is the Executive Director of the Eskom Expo for Young Scientists. That is Parthy Chetty. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening to you and your listeners. Good to be here.
Thank you so much for joining in on this conversation. Let's just start off by highlighting the importance of celebrating young innovators. In a time that we find ourselves in, individuals who can address important environmental and technological changes, as well as demonstrate their dedication to positive societal impact. Why is this important?
Yeah, that's actually a fantastic question. And the obvious answer is they are the future. They are the future leaders of the country, and they need to take care of the planet on the whole. So we as adults who are causing all the harm because of the lifestyle, the mechanisms that we use, the carbon emissions, there's a whole lot of things we are doing that's causing harm to the earth. When we pass on, these youngsters are going to inherit an earth that is going to be devastated. Now, the least we can do is to prepare them to be able to solve the problems of tomorrow, of the future, which we don't know what they are. They keep evolving.
Yeah.
But we need to do the best we can to give them the best chance to survive in the world in the next 100 to 200 years. So we don't know what the challenges are, but it's education and innovation that is going to help the younger generations to survive.
Indeed. Let's talk about some of the showcases that were present. I know that students such as Salusiwe Mlaiya and Aman Patti took center stage. If you could walk us through their solutions to the current environment, please.
I'm not too familiar with the details of that because these learners have amazing projects, and we as adults, we have experts that actually evaluate these projects. But the key thing behind, the common thread behind these two projects is that these learners come up with creative ways of solving problems. They look at problems from a different perspective. And we as adults actually have to step back, look at the solutions they're producing, and actually start thinking, hang on a second, this is actually a brilliant approach. You see, as adults, we are fixing our ways. Now, with learners like this, they come with totally novel solutions, and we have to actually accept these are possibilities. In the next 3 to 5 years, their projects can go to market. Their projects will be solving world problems with a little bit of mentorship and refinement. So their approach to life is, teenagers, they're very different from adults. They like to be daring. They like to be challenging. And we must not stop that. We must, obviously within limits and within safety guidelines, we must encourage them to take, a kind of a risky approach to not accepting everything, but questioning. You see, what they learn in school, what they learn in the classroom is to train their mind. Now, they should not be kept in the box in the classroom. What the Expo does, it gives them a platform parallel to the school system. So if they learn something on, let's say, how to cope with citric acid, on bioplastics and so on. Now, they're learning about chemistry. They're learning about waste products. Then the learners start putting things together. They say, hang on, I know what the results of citric acid is on products. There's a lot of waste products in my community. There's a lot of plastic bags. Can't I use these kind of acids and try and see how I can mitigate the risk of too much of, wastage? So they actually look at things very differently. Now, remember with us, we tend to go from home to office to shopping center, and that's it. With the learners, they're on the ground. They see things from a totally different perspective. They encounter problems in the communities which we don't see. They have friends who may have challenges, and they may want to help these friends. So we want to encourage that kind of thinking. So it's not about learning a subject in school like physical science, mathematics, biology, and so on. It's more about training the mind to use what you learn and apply it in real-world situations, because when we are gone, they are the ones that can be left to fend for themselves. So we better do a good job of their education in the STEMI subjects.
Sure. Let's talk about the education in the STEM subjects. And I say this as a student of the STEM industry. We often find that, and we often feel like the curriculum doesn't support the new age in which we find ourselves in, right? Where you find a lot of engineers streamlining into banks and streamlining into business solutions more than they are practicing the STEM traditional route and career. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head, because if I recall about 10 years ago, I gave a speech at the WITS graduation to engineering students. That was one of the points that I actually picked up. We have these geniuses coming out of university with an engineering degree, and we lose them to the banks because they earn more money. Now, you're looking at youngsters, young graduates, who are at the top of the game with regards to innovation. As soon as you move into a system like a banking sector, within a few years, you get bored of your job, you lose your innovative edge. But you are earning a good income, you drive a fancy car, you have a fancy lifestyle. But we as a country have invested in that learner, and it is now lost into making money. And you're quite right. This is a common thread. Now, it's not just South Africa. I've been to international conferences, and I've been, we obviously read what's going on in the rest of the world. At the moment, the mature markets are losing engineers at the rate of 12% per annum. They are encouraging even South African learners to come and study for free in the country, especially engineering. So it's a worldwide phenomenon. However, in South Africa, we have acknowledged that it is a challenge, and I think we are doing some of the things in the correct way. You did mention some of the challenges of the curriculum. It is slow to adapt, and it's because it has to be tried and tested over a number of years. However, it's not all that bad, simply because we've got about 26 Olympics and competitions in the country, and we've got 4 lead agents. These are organizations that say that, for example, Expo for Young Scientists takes responsibility for innovation. So anything in the field of innovation, we drive it. We now go out to schools, and we encourage these learners to say, okay, if you feel a bit stifled in the school system, here's an outlet. Whatever you learned in the classroom, apply your mind, apply your creativity, and explore your passion in the sciences, and showcase your inventions and your research in the Expo platform. And it just doesn't stop there. Now remember, as in most of Africa, we are more a user economy in most of Africa. We need to try and change that. And we need South Africans to say, hang on, we can be creators and inventors and innovators. We can sell our products to the rest of the world. And we have had learners do that in the past. So we take these learners to participate in various sciences across the country. It helps with cross-pollination of ideas. They look at ideas from their peers. And that gives them that encouragement to say, hang on, if that 16-year-old can do that, why can't I do it back home in South Africa? So we have a number of these strategies in place, and we do have the support of basic education and science and innovation to help us grow as a country in that field. So the challenge is still there. We are losing engineers into industry like banking. I really would like to see how we can arrest that problem and try and retain them in the field of innovation and engineering.
That is the voice of the Executive Director at Eskom Expo for Young Scientists, Parthy Chetty, joining us this evening.